Hello and welcome to Bright Blue Innovation. I'm your host, Lidia Paulinska. We are bringing you this week's episode from Silicon Valley Virtual Reality Show, also known as SVVR 2017 event in San Jose, California. This year's event is the largest to date. It features multiple tasks going on at the same time on different topics, as well as the largest exhibit area in the conference history. Starting several years ago as a simple meetup group for developers in the VR community, the program is now an international meeting place for developers, producers, software platforms, and specialty hardware providers in VR, AR, and 360 video market space. We had a chance to talk to the founder and organizer of the event about trends in the market, as well as a number of exhibitors showing off their technologies. We hope you enjoy these highlights from the show.
That's good.
So that's the fourth year for the conference. Tell us more about the history, how that started, how that come to this big event. What is this year?
Yeah. So it's been 4 years. Over 4 years ago, we started as a meetup group, just a bunch of people meeting every month. That's overwhelming success with the attendance and the people that were coming out, the enthusiasm. And we're like, hey, let's leverage this into a conference. It started at the Computer History Museum here in Silicon Valley. And it was like maybe 30, 40 exhibitors, about 400 people showed up. But the excitement was so palpable. We're like, we got to do this again. And here we go, from a coffee shop conversation to 4 years in the conference and thousands of attendees and hundreds of exhibitors. It's super exciting. So.
And many changes also means many changes. Maybe I would say the progress, because on this year conference there is I understand is 360 video, AR also. So how that these two subjects fit to this conference?
Absolutely. 360 video, I think, is important because it's one of those things that's very accessible right now. A lot of people are concerned with the accessibility of virtual reality, and for a cell phone, when the power it has, 360 video could be a very clean in for someone to get kind of a sense of what virtual reality means. So that becomes very important. Can you get 360 video immersive? Can it be high definition? Is the experience good? Can you do interactive things with it? So that's just a kind of exciting field that's happening, and a lot of exploration that's happening there on the content side. For AR, I think there's just this relation between VR and AR because there's an overlap in kind of the types of problems that are solved. AR has much harder problems. It's like everything that's hard about VR plus a computer seeing the real world and recognizing it for what it is. So that becomes extremely difficult. But all the lessons that we learn in virtual reality as far as user interface, user experience, content, a lot of those things will bleed over into augmented reality as well. So that's, there's kind of a big community. I think people try to phrase it AR versus VR, and it's very much a lot of people that are smart trying to solve similar problems that are all kind of on the same boat.
So what we can expect from this year conference?
This year's conference is exciting. We have essentially different tracks on different types of technology, developer, medical, web VR. So there's all these kind of specializations of VR that are happening now that before was just VR, it's everywhere. And now we're able to get like this kind of specialization and expertise that's emerging, which is very exciting. And also the international stuff that's happening. We have on the show floor kind of core community groups from Japan, Korea, and China, and there's lots of activity happening in Asia around virtual reality, and being able to, here in the Silicon Valley, meet those people that are on the ground floor, find out what they're about and what they're concerned about, what their kind of markets are doing.
And you're actually expanding to Japan and Korea as well at this conference, so tell us about that too.
Yeah, just announced that today. We have SVVR Japan and SVVR Korea, very exciting. We partnered with some folks that are, again, on the ground floor in their respective countries that have been already doing great work. So to be able to expand the SVVR brand but also partner with those folks that are really doing kind of what we did here at SVVR, start with enthusiasm, find people with expertise, bring them together, and leverage that into something that's bigger than we could have imagined. So.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on the 4th year.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
We're here at SVVR, and we have a demo here, a demo booth showing off our new 360 cameras. Last year we came out with the SP360 4K, and that's two 4K cameras that you can shoot 360 video with. One camera shoots 235 field of view on one side, and the other shoots 235 on the other half. With our stitching software, you can combine those two videos together, creating easy 360-degree camera video footage. But now, this year, we have a new camera coming out called the Orbit 360 4K, and it's this camera right here. It's a one single unit, two lenses that allows you to do 360 videos just with the push of a button. It's got internal stitching, and so now it just turned the whole 360 video creation a lot easier. So it's more of a consumer level product, easy to use, and a lot of fun. So if you want to take a closer look at what 360 cameras are and what they look like, here's a little demo of the video footage captured. So with your cell phone or iPad, you're able to move around and explore different spaces. You can also control it with your fingers. And so you can spin around and take a whole look all the way down, look all the way up, and you capture everything that is around you is captured in the video. And so it's really, really fun for families if they want to record birthdays or gatherings, or if you want to go on a vacation and you want to just record everything happening all around you. And then you can relive those experiences using VR headsets or just share them through your phone with friends.
I'm CEO of Mentmuse. We're a 3D audio company of doing spatial audio and immersive audio technologies. Because in VR, there's so many problems to solve, all the way from capturing the audio, synthesize the audio, editing it, all the way from transmission, and also finally at the user's end to render it. So we're taking care of lots of components in spatial audio aspect. Here we're kind of showcasing one of our audio editor inside VR, because it's so much a pain point for editors or recording engineers to do operations while looking at the VR film, because usually the VR film is 360 and is blocking whoever is working on it, blocking the eyes of whoever's working on it. So we kind of did one thing to put every UI and operation menus, buttons, everything inside the VR environment, so you can see where your audio is and according to where the visual is as well. So it's a very what you see is what you get editing environment for immersive spatial audio. And other than the spatial audio editor, we also develop SDKs for many of our clients. We're actually the first one to enable spatial audio in China with Youku. You can see that, and also we have our coding technology for high order ambisonics coding, which is maybe the de facto format for spatial audio for VR. So we can enable services like live streaming with high quality and high resolution audio for VR.
Hi. Basically, Everyscape is about really trying to take virtual reality into the mainstream. We actually pioneered Google Street View about 10 years ago, like technologies, and have been using that set of ideas to try and solve problems for local businesses, hospitality industries, real estate, etc. So one of the things that we're really trying to launch today is this idea of making anyone with a smartphone able to create their own VR environment and then share that environment with someone else remotely. So the idea of kind of new social interactions inside a VR environment. So what I've got here is a laptop shown on this screen of the Space Shuttle Assembly Facility. And over here I have the image of that same space on a cell phone somewhere else. So the idea is so as this scene over here moves, you'll notice that that's Jim over here. You can actually see that Jim's Jim's screen is actually moving. And so we can actually get a sense of what actually is going on between these two people. So similarly, if I like what Jim's seeing, I can zoom in on that, and I can actually get a sense of exactly what Jim is doing. And I can also do some interesting things, like do some new ways of controlling behavior. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. And so now I'm going to take control of Jim's screen from my friend Yoda over here by clicking Follow Me. Okay, so basically now that I've clicked Follow Me, basically what happens is as this screen pans, I'm actually controlling what the laptop user could be across the other side of the world is actually seeing. And so the idea of trying to say, hey, show me something that could be inside this space shuttle facility becomes much, much easier. Just the simple idea of trying to get people to understand something. So now I'm going to use our other technology to actually take you inside the space shuttle. And as you can see, the laptop user is not having to do anything. I'm actually in control. And these ways of kind of interacting together inside content is really what makes this solution driven. It enables someone who is trying to actually show you something about the space shuttle, obviously very interesting, but more importantly, auto dealers, local businesses, hoteliers, really trying to explain some complicated situation can do so very easily with this kind of technology. Second of all, we've actually made the creation of this content very, very simple. So basically with this smartphone or a 360 camera, anyone can create this in a matter of minutes. And lastly, we've really tried to make it very accessible. So as you can see, the same content can actually be seen on a smartphone or a laptop, or down here you can actually use it inside a VR headset as well. So that's Everyscape. I appreciate your time.
Hello, we're out at SVVR 2017 with Radiant Images and Voices. We're showcasing a live 360 broadcast, and we're able to switch from camera to camera seamlessly. The transitions do not jar your viewer, and you're able to add 2D elements to the screen where you've got a 2D feed, a 2D web page, Twitter feed. You can have live broadcast questions. You can also add other 2D elements where you've got a 2D feed with close-ups and really engage your viewer. We're also showing the Zcam. We've got the S1 Pro, the S1 up here, and then a Blackmagic 360 rig. So we're switching from each of these video angles live in 360.
So I co-founded this company with Eric Darnell and Larry Cutler. Eric Darnell was the writer and director of all 4 Madagascar films and also directed DreamWorks' first ever full-length animated film, Ants. Also Larry Cutler, who graduated from Stanford with me, but earlier, and his master's thesis was on virtual reality, was intelligent enough to know that it was way too early in the 90s to do VR, so he went to Pixar in the early days, was technical director on Toy Story 2, and also Monsters, Inc., then left to join DreamWorks as global head of character technologies, and he's also a judge for the Oscar Technical Achievement Awards. So 3 of us formed together. In my background, I was most recently vice president of games at Zynga, looking over the Farmville franchise over the last 6 years, and previously at Pixar, working on Toy Story 3, and before that at eBay and also Harvard Business School. So I'm come mostly from the gaming side versus Eric and Larry come from the film side, where we're merging the two together to form a new medium. And people oftentimes ask us, what do you create? Is it a film? Is it a game? Is it an experience? And we'd like to say that it's none of them, that it's actually its own medium. And the way to think about this is, if there's a little girl crying on a park bench and it were in a film, you feel really bad for her, but you do nothing about it. If you saw a little girl crying on a park bench in a game, you go talk to her, but probably because you want to get information to get to the next level, or to increase your XP. Now, if a little girl were crying on a park bench in real life, you would talk to her because you actually care about her. So what we're trying to do, our creative vision, is to create an experience that is bigger than life. The empathy of film with the agency of games with the motivation of real life, where you're actually helping these characters because you actually care about them, not because you care about yourself and winning. So Invasion was the first piece that we created, which was one of the top downloaded VR experiences across all VR platforms, and it was starring Ethan Hawke. In that one, we really innovated, figuring out what is it like to make you a character inside a film experience. So for that one, we made you a little bunny rabbit, and if you look down, you have a furry little bunny body, and if you squat down, your bunny body gets fatter. And you and your bunny friend save the Earth from these two aliens named Mac and Cheese, who are bent on destruction. From that, we explored making your character, but also how do you direct a viewer's eyes. We had that other bunny, when she looked off to the right, you also wanted to look to the right because you wanted to see what she was looking at. So in a way, we got the audience to compose the shots that we wanted you to compose. Then we wanted to take that a step further with asteroids. So Invasion was so popular that it got picked up by Roth Kirschenbaum Films, who created Maleficent, Snow White and the Huntsman, Alice in Wonderland, to become a full-length animated film in the Hollywood big screen. Based off of the success of that, we created a second episode called Asteroids, where we follow Mac and Cheese into outer space, starring Elizabeth Banks as the character of Cheese. And in this one, we experimented with making you a character, but not only are you a character, you're a Class C task menial robot, but we explored your relationship in this environment with the other characters. So you actually can help the other characters or not help them, and you end up affecting how the other characters feel about you. In fact, there's this other character named Peas, who's your pet robot dog, and you can actually play fetch with Peas in that. And so that's taking the feeling beyond empathy for the characters into action, which we call compassion, where you can actually help out these characters. And I'm proud to announce that one premiered at Sundance Film Festival. Invasion premiered at Tribeca, and we're proud to announce our next IP will be premiering at Tribeca Film Festival in just a month in April, called Rainbow Crow, and it's based off of a Lenape Native American tale about the crow, and it inspired us to retell the story in a different way in VR, and we'll be announcing the talent for that really soon. But we're really excited about the techniques that we use, specifically pushing the boundaries of technology to create the different style that we have in VR, and also using a completely different art style that has never been used in VR before. And it's about themes of self-sacrifice when there's a world of darkness, how do you bring light to it, and also self-acceptance of your perfect imperfections. Specifically because they feel that VR has the same energy as CG did back in the day, when no one knew what they were doing, and it was a merging of art and technology together, and they want to pass it on to the next generation. So we're very honored that they decided to help us out. Okay, so I'm going to show you this quick trailer, never been seen before for Tribeca.
We see virtual reality as a new medium for telling stories and creating great cinematic experiences that are character-driven. It allows people to be taken to places and to worlds that otherwise wouldn't exist.
Rainbow Crow is a Native American legend from the Lenape tribe. Now, we at Baobab are retelling this ancient story of selflessness and service, and we're telling it in a brand new way in VR.
Long ago, in a time before humans walked the face of the earth, the world was always sunny and warm, and the forest animals lived happily and without worry. But then one day the snow came. The animals were no longer happy, and they began to worry that they would freeze to death in this increasingly frigid world. What they needed was a hero. What they needed was Rainbow Crow.
So that's a trailer for Rainbow Crow, and just to give you a little brief update about Rainbow Crow, we will be announcing the talent soon. Very talented talent, but also I'm really proud of this because we push the boundaries of technology to be able to create a different art style that has never been used before in VR. And also it's a story with themes about self-sacrifice in a world of darkness. How do you bring light to it? And also about self-acceptance.
We are doing a new type of touch feedback for virtual reality. So we have our own controllers that provide that feedback. Our feedback works by mimicking the friction you would feel if you're holding an object and something happened to that object. With the demo currently happening, he's grabbing a cube, and as he basically touches the environment, he can feel the shape of it roughly. So if he drags his hand across the surface, I don't know what he's doing now. Let's see. Alright, so now he's in a room where we have a bunch of different weapons. And with our controller, we can basically emulate all sorts of different weapon effects and make them all feel different and a lot more engaging than you would get with just rumble feedback. So this shotgun, and you would feel it when you pump back, you'd feel a little sort of push against you and another push as you put the pump back, and then you'd feel a nice kick as you fire. With this, it's a grenade launcher, and so we've tuned this so it feels a little bit more stronger, and the effect lasts a little longer than the other weapons. So here we have a slingshot. With the slingshot, you can pull back the pouch, and as you pull back the pouch, you'll feel the tension growing. So it feels like something's like pulling your other hand back to it, and you can also roughly feel the direction in which you're pulling, which is pretty cool. And the same effect also works in a bow and arrow configuration. And what's really nice about the bow and arrow or the slingshot is once you release to fire, sort of the entire effect just goes back to being off. And it feels like there's like this nice offloading that feels really great. And it's really satisfying to fire those weapons.
The VRGo chair is what this guy's sitting on, and it's an input device for virtual reality. All you do is you tilt or lean in the direction you want to move in the virtual space, and you move, and it's hands-free, which means you can bring your hands into the virtual space too. So it's a really great and fun way, and it helps with your posture as well. It works with any headset that allows for either a joypad or a keyboard and mouse input. So it'll work with the Oculus, the Vive, Samsung Gear, mobile headsets.
So what we've created here is a camera that enables anyone to capture any interior space in 3D and then bring that space online such that you can explore it interactively on the web, on mobile, and in VR. So this camera can capture a typical house in about 45 minutes. It's fully automated. You control it with an iPad, and it then spins around in about 30 seconds and captures a 3D 360 view of whatever room you're in. You can then move the camera from spot to spot around the space, and it automatically stitches all that data together into a 3D model. So I'm going to show you now what a completed 3D model looks like. So you can view it in 3D in this dollhouse mode, or you can tap to go inside, and then you can navigate the space simply by tapping where you want to go. You'll notice there's also this matter tag content, which you can tap to learn more about the space. Now, all this content was produced automatically by our camera. It's very simple for anyone to operate. We have a lot of non-technical users, including a lot of real estate agents, professional photographers, and others. And the camera itself is 3,600, and that includes both the capture and then the online hosting and serving of this content. There's a small monthly fee depending on the number of models that you're capturing. Then finally, any of these spaces can also be viewed inside a VR headset, so you can get the experience of feeling like you're inside the space. We're very broadly used in the real estate industry right now. About 2.5% of homes sold in the US have a Matterport 3D model, and we're starting to bring a lot of those customers over from the web over to VR.
So what you think will be the next area that this camera will be expanding?
So we're seeing our camera get used in a lot of other markets as well. So architecture, engineering, and construction is another set of markets. Facilities management, travel and hospitality, so being able to book a hotel room after walking around it in 3D. There's retail, there's home improvement. We've even been used in the media to tell stories by reporters. We've been used in crime scene investigations. Really, this is a general purpose tool for experiencing any place in 3D.
Hi everyone, so this is Sixth Sense, and this is one of our very interesting verticals that we're presenting to the public today here at SVVR. I'm going to start off with our V-Sport platform, and what you're going to see here is a multiplayer cooperative game called Siege VR. This game has been designed by Sixth Sense engineers, and it's actually using the Vive hardware. So here, players work together collaboratively to kill as many war victims as we possibly can. So this will be available in both the arcade and casino platforms around the world.
We are an automotive imaging company that developed a VR library back in 2015, and we have over 11,000 vehicles beginning with model year 2000, and then in 2015 started with 1,300 stereoscopic images. When we developed the library, we decided to take it and to show people how we could utilize these assets, and developed the Relay Cars app. And it was kind of a fluke, but the Relay Cars app became a very successful app. With over 900,000 downloads, we just launched our 6th version of it on Friday. On top of that, we also have a B2B enterprise solution, which is called Relay Cars Pro, which allows the dealership to do a guided VR experience while they control what the user is seeing, and they can decide, okay, I'm going to put you inside this car or that car, and if the user decides to leave, if they're a Ford dealership, for instance, and they want to go to another dealership, the dealer can say, no, stay here, I'll show you that car, you don't need to leave, and that way it keeps them on the lot. So between the 3 apps and this library, we are a content provider, plus now we have these 2 B2C apps, and both of them all in virtual reality. And just wanted to add that all the content in the library is all photographed, so the photorealism is pretty amazing, interiors and exteriors, full 360 spins, full 360 interiors in stereo.
This is our V-Care platform, and this specific one that we're looking at right now is created for Penumbra, a very large public medical tech company located in Alameda. And we have created for them a medical simulator and trainer that actually allows their neurosurgeons to go through and train with their proprietary NeuroMax system and ACE thrombectomy system. So this allows the neurosurgeons from anywhere in the world to get in together and actually practice the surgery before they do it. This is an extremely valuable tool for all medical professionals, and there will be much more to come from us in this sector shortly.
We built a 3D video sharing app for mobile virtual reality. And so we make it really easy to create and share virtual reality experiences with your friends all over the world. So we sell this 3D stereoscopic camera for VR, and we sell it for $150. And it's a really simple camera to use, and it creates some really, really nice content. And you view the content by downloading our app at vidivr.world. And all you need is an iPhone and then one of these mobile VR viewers. And to view the content, all you do is you put the viewer on your phone like this, and then you can experience the world in VidiVR. And so right now our app's kind of like a video blog, but in about 2 months we have a pretty big update, and there's going to be a lot of interactivity, and we're really trying to make it a really fun social VR experience.